Our next story is about the ICC, the International Criminal Court, based in The Hague in the Netherlands. The ICC made an announcement today, one that was long suspected, but still shocking. The ICC is seeking an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's Prime Minister. He may soon become a wanted man. What for? His actions in Gaza. He's been accused of war crimes, and Netanyahu is not the only one. Israel's Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, is also in the dock.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts.
That's an extensive list. Starving civilians, intentionally attacking civilians, extermination. Netanyahu is being charged with all of this and more. If you go through the ICC statement on their website, it gets worse. Arbitrarily restricting food and medicines, shutting off Gaza's water, hindering electricity to the enclave. You had the aid delivery massacre on the 29th of February when more than 100 Palestinians were killed. On the 1st of April, there was an attack on 7 aid workers from World Central Kitchen. All of this is mentioned in the ICC prosecutor's statement. This is why he wants a warrant for Netanyahu.
My office charges Netanyahu and Gallant as co-perpetrators and as superiors in the commission of these alleged crimes. Israel, like all states, has the right to defend its population. It has every right to ensure the return of hostages that have been criminally and callously taken. Those rights, however, do not absolve Israel of its obligations to comply with international humanitarian law.
He mentions Israel's right to defend itself, the right to ensure the return of hostages. But what about those who took the hostages in the first place? What does the ICC have to say about Hamas? Well, they're seeking warrants against 3 Hamas leaders, Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed, Deif, and Ismail Haniyeh. Sinwar is the head of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Deif is the commander-in-chief of their military wing, the Al-Qassam Brigades. And Haniyeh is head of the Hamas Political Bureau. All 3 are also being held liable for numerous crimes like murder, taking hostages, rape, torture, and inhumane treatment. So the ICC prosecutor wants to arrest the 3 Hamas leaders as well. But what message does this convey? Netanyahu is being treated the same way as Hamas. An elected prime minister in a democracy is being clubbed together with the leaders of Hamas, a group that Israel and its Western allies have designated terrorists. It's clearly a slap in the face for Benjamin Netanyahu.
Those who do not comply with the law should not complain later when my office takes action based upon solid evidence. That day has come. Today, we underline in the clearest possible fashion that international law and the laws of armed conflict apply to everyone. No foot soldier, no commander, no civilian leader, no one can act with impunity.
He says no one can act with impunity, but that is only partially true. There are a number of reasons why that statement is more bravado than fact. First of all, the ICC is seeking a warrant. It hasn't issued one. The prosecutor has approached judges in the ICC. They will decide if the charges hold merit. A warrant will be issued only if they agree. That could take weeks, even months. So Netanyahu is free to do as he pleases until then. And even if a warrant does get issued, that does not mean that Netanyahu will be arrested on the spot. Israel does not recognize the International Criminal Court's authority. It has no reason to comply with any ICC warrant. So Netanyahu will be free in Israel and in other countries that do not recognize ICC warrants. countries like the US, India, Russia, and China. But there are 124 countries that do abide by the ICC's ruling, so Netanyahu won't be able to travel to those nations. Another leader is facing the same issue, and that's Russian President Vladimir Putin. The ICC put out a warrant for Putin last year, so he's been careful about where he travels. But Putin remains free, and Netanyahu probably will too. But despite the obvious negatives, the ICC warrant may have had some unexpected benefits as well. It seems to have united Israeli leaders. Benny Gantz, for instance, is a member of Netanyahu's war cabinet. He had threatened to resign yesterday, but today he's defending the prime minister. He said equating Netanyahu with Hamas is, quote-unquote, a moral blindness. And if the ICC issues a warrant, it will be, and I'm quoting again, a crime of historic proportions. Israel's leader of the opposition, former Prime Minister Yair Lapid, also condemned the ICC announcement. He asked the US to intervene. So the ICC's move may actually help Netanyahu at home. It may keep political opponents at bay. But if an arrest warrant does get issued, it will be a net loss. It will put the Israeli Prime Minister at the same level as the Hamas leaders, the people behind the October 7th attack. That would be a permanent mark on Netanyahu's legacy.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.